Hi, welcome to EPCC Talks. I am Dr. Amber Archuleta Lucero. I'd like to welcome you. As always, my co-host is right next to me, Professor Claudia Chacon-Haley. We're excited today because this is a yearly show that we do. We always want to ensure that our students are a priority in terms of the show. And so I'm excited today. We've had students on before, but I'm excited today because we get an opportunity to speak with SGA. So I'd like to introduce our guest to you. To my right, across from me, is Dennise Sigala, and she is the president of EPCC Student Government. And then here, I'm pointing to Vice President Alek Castillo. So welcome, my friends. How are you?
We're doing really good. Thank you for having us
Good.
here.
I'm glad you're here. We've been talking. I told you that the setup is the longest period of time. This will go very quick. So welcome. I wanted to kind of start out. Let's contextualize some of the things that are going on with SGA. We'll funnel down talking about both of you personally, your academic journeys. Professor Chacon-Haley will have some questions. So let's start there. Dennise, tell me a little bit about what you have been working on this year with SGA.
From the start of the year 23, 2024, we started off helping NSO with the Teal Bash. I think that one went great.
And if you don't mind telling us the acronym for NSO.
Oh, NSO is New Student Orientation.
Awesome.
Yes. They help with recruitment, with orientation to all new incoming students to EPCC. So we helped them with their event. It was a lot of fun. They had like water inflatables and a dunk somebody into a water.
That's cool.
It was really fun. During October, we had our national conference. We went to Washington, D.C. That was very fun.
Oh,
and
yeah. I love D.C.
Yeah, it was really fun. We also helped the Autism Society in the city of El Paso and the Center for Students with Disabilities with their trunk or treat. That one was also really fun. We got to decorate a car. We did Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we had like a big hat on top of a school vehicle. It was really fun. We were giving out candy to kids and everything.
Yeah. Maybe I'll ask Nadia for some pictures, Ms. Rivas for some pictures, and then at the end we can display the work that you guys have done in the past in our ending credits. So awesome.
Yeah, that was of last semester. And upcoming this semester we have the banquet coming up at the end of April. So we hope to invite everybody to that one if it hasn't passed already. And that's our SGA SOC awards banquet for the clubs and organizations about the students and for the students.
I went last year. It was great. I had a great time. I was sitting with the cheerleaders, and it was wonderful. I had a great time. So I think I was on the scholarship committee last year. So I'm always both Claudia and I are big supporters historically. So Alek, you guys, many events, lots of things. What do you see as your and Dennise's primary role in terms of students, overall student, in terms of engagement, information? What's your overall role?
So our role as student government is mainly to help out the students. So when it comes to suggestions, everything that has to do with helping improve things around this campus, schools, well, the campuses around El Paso that are EPCC, we are more in charge of helping with their suggestions to sort of bring it up to us, for us to see, of course, if they have a suggestion, then if we like what they suggested, then we make a presentation on it. If everyone agrees upon it, then we would like to present it to the board.
Nice.
Now, of course, it has to go through our advisor as well, just make sure. But every suggestion that a student might have when it comes to campuses or anything around here, they can come to us to give us their suggestions, and we can try and help them as much as we can to try and improve things for them.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I think one of the wonderful things is that being open to, new ideas. I mean, there's and the exposure both of you have to social media, see what's going on at other higher education institutions, to sort of piggyback on that. And I'm hoping that students do indeed give you feedback and provide, some direction, because I think that's when we're on the cutting edge and doing those things, that makes all the difference in the world. Coming back to you, Dennise, let me ask you a little bit about some of the challenges you faced this year as it relates to SGA.
Some of the challenges we've had, a couple changes this year. I think those were like the biggest adjustment that we could have had. We had like a change in administration, which we got Nadia. So we're excited for that. Are building our new team, the upcoming SGA. People come, people go.
Yes.
And we do the best that we can. Yeah. So I think that one's been the biggest challenge in that. Just trying to make things happen with everybody. Yeah.
Yes, and I know you're talking about Nadia Rivas. Hello, Nadia, the director of Campus Life, the new director. So welcome, and we're glad to have you. And I just so much appreciated our time we'll get you on the show at some point, Nadia. So thank you. Alek, so what do you envision? I mean, you all are going to stay here 2 years, but our student government, we're going to be here 30. What do you envision for student government? What would be magical wand, the pixie dust, all the things that you would like to see happen for SGA as you know, your term comes to an end, a new administration starting, and what is it that you'd like to see done?
So there's a couple things that we would like to keep going with. Of course, the SGA has helped with a lot of the funding when it has come to the student unions, all of that, to try and help students, to help with the Tejano Mercado as much as we can. Of course, there was certain plans there was a project that we were working on. That one is still in the works, a bit postponed at the moment. Don't know if I'm really allowed to talk about that one, but
we'll cross our fingers that it's just something magical happens. So
yes, that main project is something that would be beneficial for all of EPCC campuses. Nice. And I hope it does go through. We just have to keep working on it.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit, Alek, how one administration ends and a new administration starts. So we're getting ready, and I'll talk to Nadia about the elections specifically. How do you guys transition? I was curious.
In what manner?
Vice President and VP.
Okay.
As those terms end and new people are sworn in.
So normally when it comes to that, sometimes the same people are, well, of course, elections are open to everybody. Yes. So SGA members pass, and students, no matter who they are, they can apply for it. So as this term comes to an end, we would have new people coming in. Of course, when it comes to that, we'd set aside our goals, everything that we had for this year, scholastic year, and kind of pass it over so they can use it as a guide. Mm-hmm. And if we have the possibility, sort of give them a bit of guidance to help them transition a bit better from
for sure
not knowing much if they are new to getting a bit more guidance to where they're supposed to be.
Yeah, no, it's always helpful to have a plan. Nadia, the elections, I'm not sure when this is going to air, but can you tell us a little bit? I know elections are closed, but can you tell us a little bit about the process, a little bit about how, the functionality of the elections, and then perhaps give us maybe a date in terms of students and how they can vote and what is it that they need to do, please?
So for elections, like to submit your application for elections, that one has already passed. Yes. But people usually submit their applications for the position they're running for. There's a committee meeting with the elections committee. They explain like all the rules, what you're allowed to do, what you're not allowed to do while you're campaigning.
Yes. The
promotional items, where you can put it. And that one goes around a week after the meeting. And once that one's over, voting's done through email. So every student and faculty, to my knowledge, gets an email about, like during the whole week too, of here's your candidates, vote. And then IT tallies up the votes. We get those ready. And then during our banquet, the SGA SOC Awards banquet, the new members for the next year are inducted. So we have president, vice president, and all the other roles that are usually the people run for, and they're presented with an award there.
Yeah. What are some things you learned about yourself being president this year?
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, I'm the queen of good questions. That's Claudia.
I think I learned a lot about my managing style, I guess, and trying to like coordinate with different people, trying to make things happen, trying to get things done, trying to be part of events, seeing how people do things, and the best way we could do about that. I learned a lot about that.
Yeah. Yeah, and sometimes this on-the-job training is the best, right? Because you're just in it, and you got to grind it out.
Yeah, it's been really fun.
Good. And then, what about you, my friend? What are some things you learned about yourself this year as it relates to being the vice president in your own role and supporting Dennise?
Mainly helping out with the leadership. When it comes to SOC, as well as SGA, when it comes to helping out our new members as well as members that are already there, with their planning of events, with how to do certain things. For example, filling out paperwork, all of that for authorized vendors, everything that has to do with planning of events. Trying to help be a guide for them to make their events happen, make them a bit better. And same thing goes for the clubs, trying to give them as much information as we can and help them out to sort of come out on top.
Awesome. Okay. Let's transition, Claudia, to looking at the personal and academic journeys of Dennise and Alek, excuse me. I know you had some questions.
Well, it's very interesting when we have the SGA admin because we started it before COVID. So their challenges were different. Mm-hmm. I think the last time that we had the admin, one of the things that they mentioned that they were lacking participation of the same students. Is your administration dealing with the same thing? Has it changed?
We're still dealing with it. But through talking in our national convention and during region and state, we found out that every higher education institution is also dealing with the same thing. Like after COVID, engagement has gone down. So it's a bit of a struggle trying to get people back into like participating in events and like staying on campus for longer than they really have to, especially in a community college where everybody has their lives. They like have a job, their parents, they're like managing a lot of things at the same time, and like we're trying to get them to events for them to have fun and like participate more. Yeah, it's still an issue with that one.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys still keep in contact with the previous administration?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
For how long have you guys been part of SGA before you ran for these two top positions?
Personally, I have been here since fall 2022, I believe.
Okay.
I was here since the spring of 23 semester. Yes.
Okay. So you were part of that that administration that was discussing that they were having problems with membership.
Yes.
Right. So as students, how do you decide, okay, I'm going to add this responsibility to my stack of responsibilities? How did you come up to that decision? Either one of you.
So you mean out of our responsibilities on daily life?
Mm-hmm.
Or?
So, I mean, I think it takes a lot, right? You're going to add to your stack of responsibilities. How do you decide that? I mean, how did you find out? Why did this become a thing that you wanted to do?
So out of the time that I've been here in SGA, when I came in originally,
Mm-hmm.
I helped out a lot when it came to the previous president and all of that administration. Kind of helped them out with planning all of that, and since our previous president David
Zamora, Armando Baca, hello friends.
they unfortunately, of course, they had to go.
Yes, I know.
They kind of started leaving us with a bit of parting, I guess, their methods, everything that they were able to do. So when it came to that, they were kind of hoping we would follow through for them. On becoming the next ones to step up. And when it came, David in a way kind of trained me with all of his knowledge. With even to this day, he's still teaching me.
He has incredible people skills.
Yes.
Let me tell you, he is a people person.
Even to this day, he's still teaching me new things.
That's awesome.
About the roles.
Mm-hmm.
And if anything, it's just mainly that I've always been able to have a bit more of a leadership position, and I'm guessing David kind of saw that in me. So I just kind of wanted to follow through and help out as much as I could.
Okay. How about for you, Dennise?
So for me, I joined because of school. I was like most students, just going to classes and then going to work, going home, like with my other responsibilities. But then I realized I needed to do something else to transfer. because I want to go out of state for college. So I figured involvement in school would be good. And the first one I found about was SGA. So I submitted my application. I walked in. I thought it was going to be like an explanatory thing, like what SGA is all about. I got an interview all of a sudden, and then here I am. So
that's a cool story.
Yeah. That's how I came to be here. Yeah.
That's life, though. You have to roll with the punches. Sometimes opportunities show up, and that's when you have
gotta
to
take
jump
them.
in.
Yeah,
Yes,
recognize it, walk through the door.
Right.
Yeah. Alek, let me ask you a little bit about your personal journey. Claudia and I are storytellers. We love the personal story. I think that's the depth of really, I guess, the glue of humanity. Tell me a little bit about your upbringing, if you don't mind. What has education meant to you, your family? And then last question, kind of 3-part question. And then tell me a little bit about what you foresee as the future for Alek.
Well, for my family,
Yes.
education has always been very important for both my parents as well as my brother, everyone in my family. From very young, I've moved a lot throughout states and countries. But education never left the scene. I've never stopped going to school, even though I was, during some time I had to go to Mexico for a couple of years because my family over there, we wanted to be with them for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Since I had already spent a good 10 years here in the U.S.,
Mm-hmm.
my parents wanted to go be with family for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to go to Mexico for a bit, study over there, of course, get more acquainted with the language, everything that has to be over there.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I had to come back, of course, I continued my education with high school. They told me that I was going to have to be held back because of some things with educational differences.
Yeah.
But I still didn't stop going. I just thought it would work out for the best.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of how I continued going. Here at EPCC, I wanted to continue my education to try and get things better.
Mm-hmm.
My original career plan was cinematography. So everything that had to do with editing,
We were just
visual
talking
effects,
about that. Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
all of that. That was my original career plan. But seeing as here in El Paso, options are a bit limited in that, I thought I might leave it to the side for maybe further along in my career
Mm-hmm.
after I get another, I guess, bachelor's or master's in something.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided to change careers more into architecture.
Okay. Beautiful. I mean, you never ever go wrong with architecture, and it's a creative path.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a very logical, 1, 2, 3 ABC, but there's so much creativity to that pathway. So good for you, Dennise. Your journey. Tell us a little bit about it.
I've been in Juarez for all my life. So school has always also been a priority of myself and my parents. It was never an option whether if you want to go to school, if you don't want to go to school, you were going to school. And I've always kind of liked it. So I transferred to El Paso in high school. I was in the medical field for a while. I got some certificates in that, and then I had a career change. So I realized that maybe it wasn't for me. So I moved into law. So I'm doing my major is political science. I'm doing my basics here, and then we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. And I think it's very natural, normal. You run into a particular field, something it doesn't seem like it fits that well, and then you make a new decision. I mean, that's life. That's
Right, it's part of growing up.
It is. Yeah.
I mean, I still do that. We still do that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
adapt and you modify. Yeah. And it doesn't matter how old you get. You're still learning and you're still adapting and you're modifying.
Yeah. So as we wrap up today, one of the things I ask, and I don't usually tell the guests that we're asking the question. I ask the question. It's not an intimidating question. It's one of the, again, hard questions. Alek, what advice specifically would you give to a younger Alek?
don't give up with your education. Keep going strong. Education is one of the most important things that you will have in your life, and you should keep pushing forward.
Mm-hmm. Dennise, advice to a younger Dennise?
It's okay to change careers. It's okay to explore the options. The world doesn't end if something doesn't go according to plan. Sometimes it's for the better.
So true. So you two wise wisdom leaders, as you leave, I'd like to talk to you a little, or I'd like you to talk to our students about some things that they should keep in mind, some things that you think they need to very much consider, some things to be aware of. So let's start with maybe Alek, and we'll look at a list of 3 things that you would provide to students in terms of, just like I guess David Zamora has done for you. Do this, don't do this, focus here. What are 3 things you would like to tell our students?
When it comes to your college experience, try to go to as many events as you can. They are one of the things that will leave an impression on you as you move along in your life. So any event that's held on campus, try to participate, be involved a little, because it will be a good memory that you will hold on to. Another thing is, involving, I'm guessing, club related. Again, be as involved as you can. Join as many clubs as you can if you have the time to, because a lot of full-time students, depending on their career, don't have the time. So
true.
If you're able to, join clubs, have a good time, try to learn as much as you can, because a lot of the clubs will teach you things that you didn't know that might help you further along with your professional career. And for last one, just keep going. I know college is hard. I can speak that from experience with my careers.
Mm-hmm.
But it is worth it.
Mm-hmm.
It is worth getting it.
I think that, this last piece of advice, just life can be overwhelming. I mean, at any given time, I know my students are working full time, sometimes not just one job, but multiple jobs, dealing with family. They're not just taking my course, they're taking multiple courses, and they have outside interests, right? I mean, the experiences, you want to be able to cultivate all of that, but it can be tricky in terms of that. So I'm glad you said those things. Dennise, 3 things you'd like to tell our students, your colleagues, your folks as we depart.
One of the first ones I think would be get involved. Also with the clubs. I think clubs help students get so much out of it. You get networking opportunities, you get friends. Sometimes if it's a club related to your career, like you even get like career opportunities, you get to know lots of places. So I think it'd be good for people to do that. Meet other people, talk to people, Another one is to try to have a balance. School is important and will always be important in my opinion, but there's a balance to maintain. Mm-hmm. To try to go to school and do the best you can, but also not get so caught up with it that you forget about the people in your life that care about you too. Mm-hmm. So pay attention to the people around you and those who care about you. And finally, I think to find a program that works for you, and that it's okay to change programs, because college is about finding opportunities and making it better for yourself, but people are also going to be working on it. So to pick something that you'd actually like to do with for a good chunk of your life. Mm-hmm. So if it's not the option, take into consideration what you actually want, not what people around you want you to do.
True. That's hard. As when you're young, right? You focus a lot. I think I did a lot on what everybody else was saying what to do, and then I lost a little bit of sight as to what what just made my dopamine just be at an all-time high, right?
It makes it way easier when you actually care about what you're doing than just doing it because others want you to do it.
Yeah. Well, as we come to an end, I want to thank both of you. I mean, really, time's precious. It's valuable. We're always trying to be considerate of your time. And so thank you, Alek. I'm wishing the absolute very best for you as you move through. And thank you for the work that you've done here in terms of our students, supporting our students, being there, as you stated. Even filling out paperwork can be a little intimidating for some people. So being the consistent rock in a place like SGA means everything. So Claudia and I wish you the very, very best on the next phase of your journey, and thank you for your work. And Dennise, I mean, what a great story. You walk in to turn in some paperwork, you want to get involved, and you're the president of SGA. So, and what a blessing you've been, the time that you've spent here. So thank you for my sense is that, a lot of the time that you spent here was with people and building people up and strengthening people with words. So thank you for that. And Claudia and I are wishing you the best on your new journey. Please know, both of you, that we're here. We'll be here. Anything we could do to support, even though you may not be in front of us at any given time at EPCC anymore, we're here to support both of you, and we're wishing you the very best. Thank you on behalf of EPCC Talks, myself, Dr. Amber Archuleta Lucero, Professor Claudia Chacon Haley. We will see you next time, and thank you again. Goodbye.